YouTube, it's Joe here. Kind of a different sort of video today. Today I really wanted to talk about some of the negativity that I've been seeing in the retro game collecting space. I see a lot of people on YouTube who are like self-proclaimed retro game enthusiasts, and to me they just really seem to hate this hobby. I'm not sure why, but for example, like there's this weird self-loathing that some YouTubers have, and it really makes me question how serious they ever really were about this hobby of collecting retro video games. Not to mention that it's likely that the people who are watching them in the first place tuned into their channel for their retro game content. So why would they bash this hobby? You know, it's like I'm surrounded by all this retro video game stuff. That's probably the most interesting thing about me when it comes to YouTube. So why would I have a problem with it? You know, why would I say I'm going to get rid of it? Why would I say, oh, I have a sickness that makes me collect all this stuff? Anyway, some of the common topics that I see are collectors are addicted to video games, or why I hate video game resellers, why I sold my video game collection, and why you should do the same, with the inevitable follow-up video, why I regret selling my video game collection. So, these videos seem to be made by collectors who actually just don't like this hobby for some reason. And it's a hobby that they have participated in, and it's like they have this negative view of it, or like they have a regret around it. Something is just wrong there, in my opinion, and I just don't understand it. First, is collecting an addiction? Is it a mental illness? Are we hoarders? And on and on and on. Honestly, I don't care. Like, I don't care if I'm doing this because my parents didn't hug me enough, for whatever the reason may be. I just enjoy it. I like video games. I like playing video games. I like collecting video games. If you enjoy it and it makes you feel good, why does it matter that you're collecting video games? It's not hurting anyone. Why do we need to diagnose it? Beyond that, why do people get mad about it? Maybe it matters if you're spending all of your rent money on video games, but if you're just one person who has some expendable income, you want to use it to buy video games that you loved as a kid or grew up playing, who is that hurting? You know? Maybe it's just like a clickbait thing on YouTube or something like that, but I just find it to be really obnoxious when people make videos like that. Second, why I hate video game resellers. This one's a little more of like a touchy subject because I can kind of see multiple sides here. As a collector first, not saying I've never sold anything, of course I have, but I do think it's a little touchy. Should people who aren't gamers profit off of selling video games? Well, I mean, I doubt that the people who run GameStop are gamers, so, we've been buying, older video games from GameStop for years. So, it's kind of up to the consumer. You buy games, you pay the price that the market demands for those games. If there's no profit to be made, there would be no resellers. But there is profit to be made. Any serious collector has likely also been a reseller at one point or another. But many collectors tend to despise the people who make a living off of selling the games that they buy. Your local retro video game store, they're a reseller. They may play video games, they may not. Personally, my local reseller, they're way more into card games like Magic the Gathering. They don't know a whole lot about the video games, but they have a lot, and I buy them from them. So I guess that makes me a bad person. I'm not sure, but my perspective that as far as YouTube goes, that I will favor YouTubers who resell if it goes along with the content that they're making, and it's related to the hobby of collecting video games. But that is mostly just because I'm interested in the hobby itself. I'm not looking for a tutorial on how to be a successful seller on eBay. Not saying I've never watched those videos, but I don't favor those over, the people who collect video games and then sell them so they can collect more video games. Last, why you should sell all of your games now, yada yada yada, whatever it is. It's a personal choice to sell your video game collection. A lot of us who have been doing this for a while, we have an attachment to these things that we surround ourselves with. Either it's a nostalgic, emotional attachment, whatever you want to call it. It's personal. It's a personal choice. Maybe you need to sell your video games for financial reasons. It's totally fine. Don't not be able to pay your mortgage payment because you have, $20,000 in video games sitting next to you. Maybe you just got sick of the hobby and you want to move on. That's fine too. That's your choice. Either way, whatever your problem is, it's your problem. It's not my problem. I can empathize and understand with you, but it's not my problem, and trying to make it my problem is not good. I don't agree with it. So perhaps you're collecting for the wrong reasons. If you're doing it, as an investment, not saying that you can't do that. I'm just saying that maybe that's why you don't care about your video games. Maybe that's why you want to sell them. So, by all means, sell all your crap, right? If you're doing it because you love video games and you want this stuff, you want to be surrounded by it, then you're probably not going to sell your stuff. You're probably just going to keep your stuff. But that said, I've collected things that I thought I was interested or passionate about, or I thought that I wanted. And then I just decided that, I didn't grow up with this stuff, or, it's not as cool as I thought it was, or whatever the reason. And I think that downsizing your collection is okay if you don't care about what you have. My main issue here is that I just have a limited space to actually put things. So trying to collect everything is not a good idea for me. I've sold stuff and then regretted it and then rebought it before. But, I've also thought about, well, what if I get a bigger space in the future and I can put more stuff in it? Then I'm going to be regretful of the fact that I sold all my stuff. But sometimes you need to get rid of things to make space for the things that you care more about, right? And that's fine. Doesn't mean I'm going to sell my entire GameCube collection, which is, I think 4 or 5 games away from completion, just because somebody on YouTube said that I should sell my games now, because now's the time. At the end of the day, how you enjoy this hobby is up to you. Don't let others influence you in how you do it, and make your own decisions about it. With that, I think I'm going to leave it there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks.